Yeah. We are live. The Hangovers on live. Buenos noches. What embargo?
What's
Episode
up? Where are we at now?
Diez. 10, man. 10.
Diez?
Diez.
Wow. It's going to get hard counting up from here, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really know what comes after 10.
Me neither.
We're going to have to
We need
figure
to find
that
a
out.
Cuban chick.
Yeah, we're going to have to get someone to do the introductions. As you can tell, I'm in rare spirit today wearing my rice field hat. And, the most important thing we need to talk about, though, today is something that I was celebrating this morning very early. Catfish, you're the boy. You talk about it.
Well, it would have to be talking about how the Kings won the Stanley Cup, specifically how we beat the Chicago Blackhawks to win it. Because some other team from New York apparently was supposed to be there and show up, but I don't know where they were. The Rangers, I don't know what happened to them or where they were. All I know is that they blew goats and we kicked the shit out of them and took our second cup in the last 3 years. It was awesome.
2 out of 3. All I can say is Martin St. Louis. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, that guy sucks, dude. That guy don't like. Lundqvist was freaking unbelievable that whole series. He was just absolutely unbelievable. Same with Boyle. He was great. But other than that, the rest of the team, I mean, they played us really well, but they just couldn't beat us. And that was we were talking before off air, and I was telling Tuna that just watching this every game from the beginning of these playoffs to the end was just a nail biter. It was so stressful watching your team go through nail biter after nail biter after nail biter after nail biter, just one by one. It was freaking unbelievable. So, but I was very, very excited last night that it was finally over with.
Oh, my God. As Coop said, Lundqvist can't do it all, and he's absolutely correct.
No, he can't. He can't. And I mean, he was unbelievable.
I mean, gosh, he was a champ. I'll tell you one thing. If Lundqvist was playing for the Kings, and I love John Quick, he's a great American hockey player, representing the U.S. crowd. But if Lundqvist was playing for the Kings, it would have been probably 4-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick is amazing too. Quick didn't have his best year in the playoffs this year, if you ask me. There's way too many of their defensemen were just stepping up and going crazy. I mean, and their young guys, Pearson and Toffoli, were really kind of came into their own. That line, the 70s line with Carter, really came into their own, and it was unbelievable. I think they honestly became a better offensive team during this offseason, and I think next year the young guys with the experience they got are going to be even better. So
it's a team that's not filled with stars, like an individual star. It's a group of guys who play together.
All they do is they just dump the puck in and go down and smash. That's what they do. It's like, we're near the blue line, just boom. They don't run on offense. They throw it in there and they go smash people. That's it.
Dude, I'm sporting this Clarkson jersey, and you're like, what are you sporting a Clarkson jersey for? Willie Mitchell, number 33, LA Kings, 2 out of 3, Golden Knight player before, came from Clarkson, now playing for the Kings, rocking and rolling. So I represent the D1 hockey days up in northern New York. Go, Willie. You're the man. If you're watching this, which if you are, my first question is, why the fuck are you watching What Embargo? But if you are, you're the man. And someone said, hey, get Grace Sotolongo to do your intro. I never miss a show. I don't think Grace would ever do an introduction for What Embargo. But if she did,
I don't think she would. But who knows? We'll see. Dude, I'm working on my Speedo form for IPCPR, dude. So who knows?
I saw that, man. You're going to be rocking and rolling.
Oh,
I'm banana hammock.
I will go after all those chicks and see what's up. See if I can't get them all to come do shows with us. You know what I mean? So.
Well, speaking of Grace, it'd be interesting because she's dating a guy named Gabriel Alvarez, who, I'm sorry, I got distracted by Harley Holmes' question. But Gabriel works for Coots LLC, which is making the Miro, the Coots Plaqueras Reserva,
cool.
a couple other ones in there, and they're making cool stuff. But before making for the U.S. market, they were making for the European market. So it would be interesting to see his perspective on the whole thing. Harley Holmes just asked the question, what's with the indoor China hat? Ed Whedon then just said, Harley, thanks. I was wondering the same thing. It's actually a rice field hat, and I've been drinking heavily today. That's what the hat. So
I kind of figured you were. I didn't ask, but
just,
I could tell in your voice that you had been drinking heavily.
I'll take it off of y'all. I think it's going to make everyone feel a little bit more uncomfortable. So, boom, the hat's off. But we're rocking and rolling anyways. But
there's Pim.
what are you smoking right now, there, Captain?
Well, I know so we can get on track for today's show. I'm smoking a Punch. I just actually tore the label off from 2007 because we were supposed to do last week's show on Punch, but we started rambling, and so this week's show we're going to do on the Boulevard Royal Corona, but we're also going to touch base on the Punch. So I figured I should be smoking one while we're talking about it. So, and I'm almost halfway through it, so I'll probably finish it before we're done. But we'll see.
Well, how is the Punch smoking?
To me, it's I really like the floral Cuban cigars, the real mild floral stuff. Like that's always been my cup of tea, if you will. And these I have several from '07, and they're one of the ugliest wrappers ever. It's like almost looks like a green wrapper, and they friggin' I can like smoke the whole thing through my nose. I can like stick it up and snort it through my nose practically. It's so smooth, That's why I've always liked it, because I think Punch in general, once you let them sit and age a little bit, just the market in general, you always get that nice retro going on.
Yeah, it's a solid Corona Gorda. That's it really gets overlooked, and I can see why it does that.
Well, I don't know what I didn't look back and check your notes on it, honestly, to see. So I don't remember what your thoughts were.
I liked it.
And I didn't. I mean, I obviously didn't do a review on it. This is more just an off-the-cuff review. But to me, it's definitely a softer palate. When they're fresh, they have a little bit more flavor up front. And as they age, I think they just get that floral, just really nice light flavor. Just keeps coming more and more and more to your palate, and I dig them. I've always been a big fan of them. I love the line in general. There's not much in the line, in all honesty. So I don't know how is the line distributed. I know you're the master of knowing all that information.
It's got a double Corona, which let's break down Punch, because Punch is a brand that gets shit on. I mean, it gets shit on, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. They do.
It really gets shit on, and it's a shame because it's a great brand, and when you actually look at what's in there and you smoke it, you're like, holy crap, why am I not smoking more Punches? And the same goes for me. Double Corona, Punch double Corona.
Amazing.
It's an amazing double Corona.
I have some left from. I did a split a while back, a couple years ago, from 2011, and I want to say I have 3 or 4 left that are just fantastic cigars, man. It's unbelievable.
And but here's the problem, though, and here's Punch's problem. Who else is making double Coronas? Well, you got Partagas, you got the Lusitania, you got Oya, you have Vegas Robayana, you have Ramon Iones, which even though it's a smaller brand overall on the marquee scale, that Ramon Iones Gigantes gets a hell of a lot more attention than the Punch double Corona.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
I mean, in my opinion, I understand why, but the Punch double Corona is, I think, probably one of the top 3.
I love them all. I mean, as far as the double Coronas I have in my Humi right now, my Wanador, I have a partial box of Don Alejandro from 2006.
Oh my God.
Lusitanas and the Punch. Those are the 3 I have.
I have a couple of Gigantes from 2007, and They smoke so good, they give me a boner that's bigger than the double Coronas, man. It's that much.
They're thinking double tuna.
It's the quad tuna, man. The quad
tuna.
But it's all right. So focusing back to punch, you have the double Corona we just talked about. You have a lot of Coronas and petite Coronas, which you're competing.
Coronation.
Yeah, petite Coronations. You're competing with so many brands there, and and then you have the Corona Gorda, the Punch.
They do. Well, they do. They have 3 different Coronas. I want to say they have a Corona.
Yeah.
5.5 by 42, and I can't remember. I think it's like a Royal Coronation. Then they have the Coronation, which is 5 by 42, a petite Corona, and then they have the petite Coronation, which is like 4.5 by 40 or something like that. Which the petite Coronations, I freaking love them. Love those. Those are awesome, dude. That is one of my favorite small cigars, hands down.
They have a bunch of stuff in the 40, 42, 43 ring gauge, and you're getting into the. I'm referring to the book just so I have it all, but it's. It's a lot of petite Corona and Corona variations, and when you get into that field, you're really competing with a lot of other brands. And I think the problem is that, and this is my theory, and then we'll go back to the Corona Gordas, is that Punch is a brand that's probably not well known for a specific size, but has sizes offered in a lot of big fields. Double Coronas, Corona Gordas, and Petite Corona. And the problem is that they are competing with really famous double Coronas. And then when you come to Corona Gordas, there's a lot of well-known Corona Gordas out there. Like, H. Upmann Magnum 46 is probably one of the most well-known Corona Gordas. Then when you get into Petite Coronas, you're talking Por Laranaga,
everybody,
Boulevard Petite Corona, and it's always something that never gets the main. It's always the second child. It's always the middle child.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's never getting the main attention. They need something unique.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I haven't had any of their regional stuff or limited edition stuff. I've just, I've always liked the double Corona, the Punch, and then their petite Coronations are like, those are the 3 that I always have. I've always had them. I love them. I wish they made a Bellicoso or a Pyramid. I would freak out if they did that.
Why? Pyramids suck.
Oh, I love Pyramids.
Well, you're just more sophisticated than I am, Catfish.
Oh, I like the fact that I can cut the end off, and the end is the size of a petite Corona. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So.
you like that little tip.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. And I think that's Punch's biggest problem is the fact that they don't have anything that really sticks out.
Well, what is the brand availability? Are they like local, global? What are they?
They are local. They're the same thing as Boulevard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. You would think to say they always seem. You think they have a non-Cuban counterpart that is big enough that they get in. The Punch gets in the top 25 of Cigar Aficionado. You would assume then that the Cuban Punch would be sought after because of that.
It's and really, the only ones that are really in their brand, it's that multi-local. It's Vegas Robaina, which you're a big fan of. Fonseca, which is like, fuck it. And Quintero.
Yeah.
So it's kind of competing with Bolivar. And I don't even compare the niche to San Cristobal, Trinidad, and Guavas, because it's like, I don't get that shit. There's so many questions I have for Habanos. Like, what were you, were you all like tripping on acid with like Dustin Hoffman when you created this stuff? Or what were you doing?
I don't think they do acid down there on the island, dude.
I don't think they do acid.
They're probably chewing on cocaine leaves, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great brand. The funny thing is, in the early years of the regional editions, and I've looked at this over, in the early years it got a lot of attention. In 2005, Switzerland, Italy, it was Ramon Iones.
Yeah, there was a Portugal regional edition recently that I really liked by them. That I had a couple of that were really good.
Yeah, it's gotten attention in that regional edition, and I think it's mostly kind of from the early years. But since then, it's kind of really lost interest. And I don't know, maybe there are some times where I think that some of these brands also have brands on the American market.
Yeah.
And I think the American market successfully is able enough to fuck up the Habanos brand enough that no one's interested. Probably. Just because, the American punch, the punch that's offered in the United States, it's like, why waste my time?
Yeah.
I think, we can get into the American, but who gives a crap about the United States right now? We're just talking about LA Kings.
Dude, I think my white shirt is like making me very angelic today.
You're very holy.
I know.
It's really
very much in the angelic form today. I'm like floating on Jesus air after the win last night. So
we're on holy. This is holy ground, baby. This is holy ground. So that's that perspective.
That's punch. That's our rant about punch.
That's our rant about punch.
That's our rant about punch.
Well, let's talk about
smoke more punch. If you don't smoke punch, you don't like it, you suck.
Yeah, it's like punch.
Yeah.
Look at that.
1, 2.
1, 2. I mean, it's a cigar so nice they named it twice.
Exactly.
But and here's an honest question because I've been asked this: is it punch, or is it punch?
I think we would need to get a hold of Sancho Panza and get drunk with that guy, and he'll tell us.
He'll
I think the answer lies with Sancho or
Rafael.
Jose Piedra. Piedra, he knows all the dirty secrets in Cuba. That's my guess. I mean, he knows all the dirty secrets. I'm sure Juan Lopez knows too, but Juan, to me, I think he's probably a little bit more sophisticated, whereas my man Jose Piedra is, he's got all the dirt.
He'll break it down.
Exactly. Good for us, what we want to know.
And what I find interesting is that often I find that Habanos, and maybe this is where we're wrong, and maybe it's just not gotten a lot of attention in the media, but it's still successful for them. I think it's looking at how does Habanos offer the cigar. Because Punch is offered in tubos, 10-count boxes and tubos. That's also offered in the 25-count boxes.
Yeah, but everything's in tubo. All their Coronas are in tubo.
Yeah.
Punch is sold in tubo.
Yeah.
And then Punch and the double Coronas are sold in dress box.
Yeah, double Coronas are.
Obviously, they're not making a double Corona tubo. There's.
That's what they did.
Bill Clinton isn't in Europe and Cuba, so nobody needs a double Corona tubo. But
I did.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you could use one.
But it's one of those things, it's. I often find that.
Well, then why aren't they distributed in a larger market if they're always in tubos? You know what I mean? It would make sense that if you're in tubos, then that would be something that you would want to distribute all over the world because they're for travelers. You know what I mean?
That's what has always baffled me. It's wondering what's going on with it. Are there certain places where it does really well? I think England and Europe do very well with Punch, but I don't know if it does well elsewhere.
Huh. Weird.
So it's one of those things. And this is, we're getting a little off topic, but regional editions, and this is what I find. Lebanon has a regional edition, I think, like every year.
Uh-huh.
And it's always a Ramon Ione. And it's always a 50-plus ring gauge offering.
Interesting.
So they're always picking Ramon Iones that's got to be in that 50-plus ring gauge. And it goes to show that they're very well aware of what the guys are looking for.
Yeah. They must sell a lot of rats out there, dude.
Gosh, they must have a ton.
They must. Interesting.
But
so
that's that. Let's talk about
punch. So should we interlude to consumer questions or go on to Boulevard? What do you want to do next?
Yeah, well, we can do a little consumer question thing, and then we can go to, punch, and then go to Boulevard Royal Coronas or any other questions what we have. Let's go to the question.
Okay, first question. Probably already been asked, but what would you recommend as the best value for flavor and complexity with the least amount of aging time?
Gosh, I know we just talked about that, and I'm baffled.
I'm going to wait to hear your answer before I say anything. I love asking you these questions because you don't have a clue what you're going to say on the show, and then you always go, damn, oh, shit.
God damn, that's a good question. Boulevard. Well, no, crap, shit. It depends. That's tough. Can I go by Vitola?
I say, you know what? Give me 3 options. Give me 2. Give me 2.
Right, I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2.
Give me 2.
San Luis Rey and Boulevard. Boom, they're my answers.
What? Just the brand?
Yeah, just a brand.
Oh, okay. Now I'm going to give you cigars. I'm going to say 1 would be Partagas Short.
Okay.
Because boxes of Partagas Short can be had for under $125, and it's arguably the best Cuban cigar, period. Fresh, they have tons of flavor, tons of complexity, and you just want to smoke them like crack sticks. And if I had to choose a second one as far as value would be concerned, I would easily say the Juan Lopez #1 because I think it rivals cigars that are a lot more expensive than what it is, and they can be had for $7 a stick. So, if I had to make my 2, that would be the 2 that I would say would be the best value on the market. I think you really get a ton of complexity out of the Juan Lopez #1 for what it costs. And the Partagas Short, I mean, for the money, like if I had to pick one stick for the rest of my life, I would be completely happy with Partagas Shorts. Completely happy. There's no reason why you shouldn't have boxes of those things lying around.
Yeah, see, I think that San Luis Reyes are like a cheap offering of some of those very well-known brands. There's a little bit of uniqueness to it. That's just really affordable. And you can get a Regios, you can get the A, you can get a Corona Gorda or a Robusto. They're relatively cheap. They smoke well young. They smoke well young. I mean, do I think they're going to improve dramatically with age? Absolutely. They're good young, and they're really affordable. Now, Boulevard, if you exclude the Petite Coronas, which is one of those cigars that it needs age, exclude the Petite Coronas, and they're going to smoke well now. I think the Boulevard Royal Coronas, and you and I are going to get into an argument about this later on, the Royal Coronas for Robusto, young, with age, with a little bit of age, it's just an awesome Robusto. Hands down, can't beat it.
Okay.
Juan Lopez, I think, needs some age, but it's got a great price point.
Yeah, I need to try those. The #2. Robusto.
Dude, and I'm going to tell you, I have some stuff in the mail for you, but you know why you're delayed? It's because
you need some non-Cuban stuff in the mail for me?
I got a bunch of stuff for you. But
awesome.
You know why it was delayed? It was because I was freezing some stuff for you because I know you're picky.
It's odd.
So I just got done freezing some Señorials.
That's nothing but love, bro. That's nothing but love.
Dude, I was like, I'm not going to make him freeze it. I'm going to freeze them for him. So I'm freezing some Señorials for you so that you get them.
I cannot wait. Cannot wait to try those. I'm very excited about that.
I'm interested in your thoughts on them.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
also
we won't talk too much about non-Cuban stuff because that's not what this
that's not what we're about.
show is about.
But
So next question. Hold on, because I need to do screen sharing. I think I got myself out of the Jesus light too.
I liked it.
Okay. So, the gentleman sent us an email. Some his folks came back with some cigars from England that he had requested, and that one of the guys at the Casa de Habanos in London had suggested. And he had a question about box codes. He had the box, gave us the box codes: LOM July 12th, AME ABR 13th, MUR JUL 12. What do those mean? And he did get right that the last 5 are the month and date, but the first 3 numbers are the first 3 letters, excuse me, are the factory codes for him. So just so he knows, oh look, now all you get is my beautiful mouth. So I'm leaning forward.
Okay. Good. It's a good mouth.
There you go. You got the screen share now? Okay. Can you see my screen? So, anyways, those are the factory codes, and specifically all they mean is where the cigar was made, and there's no way to really tell what factories were which. The only way, which is a trick I learned recently, is certain cigars are only made at one factory. So if you know that a certain cigar is only made at one factory, then you'll know what the factory code is. So if, say, one cigar is only made at La Corona, and you know that they're only made there, then if you get a factory code of MUR from that box, then you know that anything that has MUR is coming from that factory, as long as that same cigar is coming from there. What I will tell you is, on the cigars that he's got that I have up here, the Ramon Alones, it came from a MUR 12, and right now MUR is really killing it. So that's probably going to be a really, really good smoke. So anyways, he wanted to know if these were real, and I think we're both pretty positive 110% that they're real. If you guys want a couple reasons why, just looking at the pictures, you'll see triple caps. All the bands look extremely legit. When you look down these cigars, you'll see the typical Cuban wrapper, which has the unpressed veins. There's a couple others in here. It looks like these San Luis Rey. These are probably A's, I'm assuming. Do they make a Petit Corona for San Luis?
No, man. They make a Robusto, Corona Gorda, and something else. They don't make. They don't make
Corona. So then you got an Epicure Especial Jose Piedra, which is a short filler cigar, and then the PLs. I don't know how the hell you say that name, but
you gotta.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. I gotta get drunk to say
it quickly. That way, you actually kind of sound like you know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a clue how to pronounce it, but
I'll tell you one thing though. Those are the darkest Por Larnagas I've ever seen in my entire life.
I know. We were talking about that. So,
and I want to.
The guy that sent these in, you should enjoy these. I would assume that you will dig all of these cigars, and we're actually going to feature the Piedra in an upcoming show. So, and if you hadn't heard, damn, I keep saying a lot today. That's what I get for quitting drinking. I haven't drank for like 2 weeks, dude.
Oh my gosh, dude, how are you living?
Well, I'm on this whole health kick right now, so I've lost like another inch of my waist.
Nice.
It's been good. So
that's why you're so angelic.
Well, that's why I'm so what?
Angelic.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. There's definitely a reason why I have angel wings behind my back right now. But no, I cut out the booze until a week before IPCPR. So when I get to go to IPCPR, I will definitely be running around with a bottle of bourbon or Jameson's, one of the two. Either Bulleit or Jameson's.
Mofos. Oh, we got a question from Sebastian. How do you guys remember so much info about each cigar and not counting Cubans? There are a lot of the same names being used. Well, we just make this shit up. I mean,
Pretty much.
Sebastian, the answer is I know this stuff because I am a loser, and I have no life, and I remember it so that I can kind of be cool to the fellow cigar smokers. And you can be like, wow, that guy's so cool, he knows so much shit. Well, in reality, I'm just a loser tool bag who's got no life, and I'm just fucking in a garage remembering Cuban cigar information and non-Cuban information. Wearing a Chinese rice field hat, smoking a cigar and getting hammered, wearing a hockey jersey. To all of our viewers, don't end up like me. Go find some chick.
Hey, you're married at least. I'm not even married, dude. You know?
Dude, but dude, you look like an angel right now with the white and the light. Boom!
Well, I'm kind of like a priest, you know what I mean? I'm definitely very priestly.
I know Harley asked me to wear this hat, but goddamn, I can't wear it that long. It's killing me. So, we're moving.
You know, I mean, if I was going to get my 2 cents on Sebastian's question, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's because I pay attention to what I like, so I tend to remember more about the cigars that I liked than the ones that I didn't. You know what I mean? Because for me, if I liked it, then I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get a box. So then I'm like hustling to try and find a box or score a box split or something along those lines. So then I remember it. But if I didn't like it, I'm like, whatever, I don't know shit about that. You know, you could ask me all sorts of questions about Trinidad, and I wouldn't know anything about them because I don't like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But no, and I looked it up and I just remembered. St. Louis Ray also makes a double Corona. And
yeah, I know. I said that.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell everyone right now. And I'm going to tell everyone right now.
Tell them how it is. Give them the.
Don't buy a box. Well, if you buy a box of St. Louis Ray double Coronas, you are possibly going to be disappointed like no other. Now, you may also be pleasantly surprised and find yourself with like probably the best box of double Coronas on the face of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a good percentage that, good likelihood that you are going to find yourself with the shittiest box of double Coronas on the face of the planet. And my suggestion is when you do that is just say, hey, I got a box of St. Louis Ray double Coronas. They're awesome. Anyone want to buy some? So, and then it's me like, oh, I'll buy some, and I'm like, these fucking suck. So it's the most inconsistent double Corona out there. Simple.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I've had some that were unbelievable and some that were just like, eh. Yeah. Whereas every Hoyo, every punch, which I need to get some Hoyo double Coronas, but every Hoyo, every punch, every Lucy, every Don Alejandro I've had were great. And I've still never had a Gigante.
Oh my god!
I've never had one.
Well, we're gonna have to change that.
Yeah, we should.
We're gonna change it. I was gonna get a box of the Robustos, but instead I'm gonna go in and get some friggin' double Coronas.
Do it.
For my Bayou brother catfish. But let's talk Punch Corona Gorda really quick.
We already talked Punch. You're drunk as shit.
All right, let's talk Bolivar Royal Coronas.
Yeah, Bolivar Royal Corona. Jesus.
Royal Coronas.
Royal Corona. So, you think the Royal Corona is the best Robusto out there?
I don't think I know it is, man. It's the most consistently awesome Robusto. Name one that can compete with it.
Really?
I'm asking.
Vegas Urbana, easy. Vegas Urbana, easy.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. That was a good one. Those were some good ones.
Easy.
Right. What else?
H. Chapman Connoisseur 1.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it is.
No, it doesn't.
How does it not count?
That's not regular production Robusto.
So why is it? It's Robusto? Why doesn't it count?
But it's not regular production.
Why not? Of course it is. What are you talking about?
I thought they only made the H. Upman Robustos for those little travel humidors.
You dumbass. The Connoisseur 1 is like legendary.
What size is that?
Robusto.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I even reviewed it. Have I done a review for Habanos Critic? If I haven't, then I have one tucked away somewhere that I need to post.
I don't know. I don't think there's no way.
I can't believe you don't know that. Because the Connoisseur 1, the '08 Connoisseur 1s
How did I miss this?
Legendary. And it's easy to miss because there's so much awesome stuff that is offered from H. Upman, really, that I missed it.
You know why? It's because it's technically not a Robusto. That's why. That's why I friggin' missed it.
Because it's what? It's like, I think
40.
it's like, that's 48 or something like that, or 49.
Exactly. That's why, because I'm a cheap bastard who gets down to the legitimacies of everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's Ramon Alone's Special Select. I mean, there's Ras. There's so many good ones out there. Actually, one recently that I'll be posting a review of, the Epicure number 2 from Hoyo. Have you had that yet?
Which one?
The Epicure number 2 from Hoyo. Hoyo's Robusto.
Yeah, it's an awesome Robusto.
Oh my god!
Probably the best Robusto out there.
Yeah, other than the Bolivar Royal Corona.
Dude, Bolivar Coronas is no. I mean, full-bodied, incredible flavors, tremendous construction.
Yeah, it's the body you like. I could see. I mean, I when I reviewed it, the first third to me was way too harsh for my taste.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I even said it was harsh. Hold on, but
I knew you weren't gonna like it, so I didn't read your review because I didn't want to cry.
Where'd it go, dick?
I didn't want to cry.
I read your fucking reviews. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm just kidding.
At least give me a page hit.
Dude, I read your Sancho Panza review and I was like, "Yeah, man, get it." No, I read it.
The first third I think was a little harsh, but then the second and the final were really good. And so, really, when I'm not going to look at the review right now. I've got it pulled up. I don't want to look at it, but the final third I was very impressed with. I mean, it was like, okay, I could see where aged this would be really good. And I think in the past, I had probably smoked them in the past and just gone, because I smoked a few of them in the past, and it was just always one of those cigars where I'd smoke it, and the first third, I just always remember it being too strong, and I'd be like, whatever, I don't like this. I mean, I'd smoke it, but to me, the Bellicoso Fino is just better right off the truck, and has the similar type flavors, so it just seemed to me like a no-brainer to go with the Bellicoso Fino. But I could see where I think this is a great case of where getting two differing opinions, it's not so much our opinions and our palate differences that we're showing the different here, but the age difference, because yours were from 2008 and mine were, I don't know what year mine were. I'm going to guess 2013. They were sent to me by one of the guys on one of the forums, Mr. Perkinky. He sent me a few in a bomb a while back, and it was a good smoke. I think it was too young for me, for my taste, but I wouldn't be surprised if I had an '08 and completely freaked out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so, I mean mine were, and I'm going to give the code TEB.
Oh yeah.
TEB 08s, and I mean
Legendary 08 code.
Those are incredible. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure that. I mean, I've had some 11s, which I really like. I haven't had 13s, but I don't know. When you're smoking a 6-year-old Bolivar, Royal Coronas, it's smoking awesome. And it's I don't know. To me, it's a brand that I really connected with, and I don't know. Maybe I connected with it just because there's been a lot of guys who said it's a great Robusto.
Well, I don't think you're alone in thinking that it's the best Robusto out there. I mean, there's a lot of guys I know that swear by the Royal Corona, and I know a lot of guys who do. So it makes me wonder if that's more geared towards the American palate or the full-bodied smoker, and they're blending it that way.
I think it is. Now the Oya, though, as you said, the Oya, it's a really terrific light Robusto.
Super mild, and then.
Oh my gosh, the flavors are incredible.
Yeah, super mild beginning, and then it just picks up and picks up and picks up and picks up. I mean, that was like my kind of cigar. It's super mild, and then really, really grew on me. Whereas the Royal Corona was more of a a modern style blending where it was real powerful up front, and then made its way back. It kind of reminded me of Pepin's style of blending to a degree. I mean, obviously not as heavy and harsh as his stuff, but
I was going to say more elegant than the Pepin blend. Gosh, I say that, and now I'm like, gosh, I'm wondering if there's some Pepin junkie who's watching the show who's then going to be like ratting us out to like some Pepin people saying that we think it's stuff's too harsh. But it's just...
Well, I don't. It's to each his own. I mean, if he asked me, I'd tell him like, no, I don't smoke your stuff. I think it's too full body for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's
he's made some stuff. His LE stuff is freaking unbelievable, but you got to pay $18 a pop for it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. There's not too many cigars he's made that I really like in the newer stuff. There's just way too much. That minery metallic taste just kills me.
Yeah.
Unless you age them for like 4 or 5 years, and then they're fantastic. But they lose their complexity,
They do. They lose a lot, and I don't. And that's the difference between Pepin stuff and like Habanos.
Which makes me wonder about guys like that and other guys in the industry who came over from Cuba. Like, what were they smoking in Cuba? Like, were they sitting there at the rolling table, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to roll my own cigars right now, and I'm just going to put like double Ligero in them because that's what I like. And just sitting there and just smoking like Ligero leaf wrapped in Ligero binder, wrapped in Ligero wrapper. I mean,
yeah, and it's what it really makes me think of is Avelino Lara, who went to Grey Cliff, who was doing a lot of stuff at El Laguito.
Yeah.
And I didn't smoke a lot of his early stuff from Grey Cliff earlier on, but to me, it's just you smoke a Cohiba versus Grey Cliff, and there's a big difference.
Yeah, no, seriously.
There's a really big difference, and then you wonder. I mean, I would say maybe they tweaked it for the American market, but it's just one of those things that it's not Cuban.
Yeah. It's always like AJ Fernandez. I wondered what he smoked when he was in Cuba. Studying under Robena. Like what I mean, because dude, everything he makes is so freaking super. Like, it's this heavy like earth palette settling thing. It's just, it's nasty. But then he'll come out with some cigars that are really palatable, and I know guys down there with him who have custom blends from him, and they're like on par with the best stuff on earth. So yeah. I know he can do it. It's just obviously guys who are producing are blending to their palate and their taste. So it just kind of it always blows my mind. I'm like, what do these guys smoke? I mean, if they were in Cuba and they were learning how to do tobacco in Cuba, what the hell were they smoking that when they move out to another country they're completely opposite? Because, for example, like Akil with Regis, he lived in London, obviously, and when he decided to get into the cigar industry, he went to Placentia, but all his cigars are blended like you would imagine a guy who's only been smoking Cubans his whole life would blend. You know what I mean?
Very balanced.
Yeah, well, they're smooth, great finish, great flavor to them. They're not overpowering, and even when he makes stronger cigars like his new Exclusivo USA and the one he did for Hawaii, those are stronger, fuller-bodied cigars, but they still have a really good finish to them, and so they remind me of certain fuller-bodied Cuban blends in that regard, where you get full flavor, like the one I sent you, that Ligero bomb I sent you.
Oh my God! Don't even talk about it. I smoked them; they're so damn good. It's honestly, I think it's probably one of the better cigars I've smoked this year.
Interesting. Well, we'll tell everybody that we're going to do several shows on custom rolls here soon, and I may reach out and see if I can get. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to because I think he's back in Cuba, but maybe one day I'll be able to get that guy on to do a Google Plus hangout with us sometime.
That'd be incredible.
He's in Mexico because his blends are ridiculous. I mean, unbelievable. So we're gonna do a ton of custom roll shows coming up here soon, guys, for everybody watching.
So he's
Fredo
rolling
Martinez, Carlos Fernandez. What's that?
He's rolling those in Mexico for Max Goatman, isn't he?
I don't know where he rolls them at. I think he does do it in Cancun, but I don't know where. I'd have to ask, and I don't know if they care to tell me. I don't know.
Yeah,
find out.
I don't know. They're damn tasty, though.
Mm-hmm.
They were good. Sebastian asked a question. I don't been forever, but specifically the difference between the Cuban brand name and the non-Cuban using the brand name for Boulevard. Have you smoked a non-Cuban Boulevard in a while?
No. Is it a general product?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I smoked one.
I think they're on clearance at Famous for like $50 a box or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, it's just one of those things. And I'm going to be honest. It's hard for me to want to smoke a General Bolivar versus a Habanos Bolivar. I think they use some Ometepe in the non-Cuban Bolivar. I think there was a lot of Nicaraguan and there was some Ometepe in there.
I had heard that as well, and I'd heard they did that in one of the Upmans as well.
Yeah.
Which I should probably try them because I love Ometepe when it's done right. I think it's the one tobacco that can come close to Cuban flavors, at least when it's blended right. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to answer your question, Sebastian, there's a huge difference. I mean, I don't think any of all the non-Cuban brands that are copied. I could care less about any of them. I don't smoke any of them. The only one I smoke Monte Cristo White from time to time. I think it's a great Connecticut. If I can find them cheap, I think it's a great Ecuadorian Connecticut. But other than that, I don't really do much about it, which is interesting. There's an interesting point we should bring up, too, is I didn't write this down or anything, but in the news this week, I think Cuba Tobacco won didn't they win their trademark case against Cohiba?
Yeah, that's going back and forth. I mean, that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
with the Cohiba.
Makes me wonder what the implications of that are going to be, because Cohiba has so much stuff out there, So that would be really. I mean,
Jay-Z's going to get involved now.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. What's Jay-Z going to do, dude?
I mean, they got 99 problems now.
Yeah, no shit.
And Habanos is about 10 of them.
Have you tried the Commodore, his cigar yet? Have you tried it?
No, but I've heard good things from a couple people, and I trust their palates. It's just one of those things, like going to buy some. I'm like, God damn, man.
It's like $30 or something like that.
Yeah, it's expensive as hell. I mean,
that's ridiculous, dude.
The Commodore. I mean, it's I love Jay-Z and all, but it's like. It's hard for me to go buy. The problem, and here's the funny thing about it, it's, you have some Cohiba Commodores, my local retailer's got them. And he's saying praise about them. And he's got some Cohiba Commodores, which are like $28 or something like that, $28. And right next to it, he has some Opus X double Coronas for like $17. So I'm like, Opus X double Corona, $17. Cohiba Commodore, $20+.
Oh wow! Do they have any Triple X?
I mean, so I just am picking up, Opus X double Coronas because it's like, I'm sorry, Cohiba, but I mean, one of them, Coop's in the chat room now. He's talking about it, and I believe him that it's probably the best thing General's done in years. But it's so pricey that it's just darn hard to really.
We're going to ask Coop a question. How about that? Coop, would you rather have that for $20 or a Siglo 6?
Now we need
answer the question, Coop. I know you're there.
We are there, Coop.
That's the kind of show we are. We don't let our viewers ask us questions. We ask our viewers questions. We make them answer.
We answer your question with another question.
Exactly, because we're assholes like that.
But it's that's the one thing is that it's just, yeah. I mean,
There's no way that cigar's worth $20. There's no way the tobacco's worth $20 that's in that cigar. They probably, okay, Coop answers a Siglo 6.
boom, there we go.
Exactly. I mean, that's the reality what it comes down to. I mean, my guess is when you smoke that cigar, yeah, and Coop, you can answer to this since you're in our chat room if you want. My guess is when you smoke that cigar, it's probably on par with the $10 price point. Because I know that cigar probably cost them $1 or $2 to make, max. I don't care how good the tobacco is in there. I don't care how aged it is. It probably cost them $1 or $2 to make. So they're charging $20 for that bullshit, or $30 or whatever. That's insane, dude.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing. The one cigar, and I think you would love this catfish. And we're getting off the Cuban, but that's all right.
We're talking about non-Cuban names.
It's this is not Cuban. This is Atabe.
Oh yeah. I remember I saw you reviewed that.
This is wow. It's it's pricey, but damn, it is good.
Compete with Cubans? Is it good enough? Is it good as Cuban?
This guy, and here's the interesting, and this is what it ties in. The guy who named it Nelson, I can't remember his last name. He is the one who did all the design and packaging for the Bahique.
Okay.
So he's Cuban, and he's done a lot of stuff for Habanos in terms of like the packaging, design, etc., and so forth for Habanos on their brands. And so this guy then started his own company in Costa Rica, Selected Tobacco, and his cigar is like Atabe, and it's pricey. But I'll tell you one thing, it is, I think you would love it. Nelson Alfonso, that's what I thought it was, Coop's right. It is, I think you would love this.
Interesting, because, there's guys like Roberto Duran who's doing Azan.
Yeah.
He came from Cuba. He was running a couple of factories out there, and then he was running Asia Pacific Cuban Habanos distributors.
Yeah,
and now he's in Nicaragua, and when I smoked his cigars, you could tell that they were blended in the Cuban tradition. You could tell Nicaraguan tobacco a little bit stronger than a Cuban cigar, and maybe not close to a Cuban cigar in that regard, but the flavor profile, the blending style, they were there. It reminded me of it, and so it makes me wonder when guys like Akil and Azan and apparently this Nelson Alfonso guy can make these cigars out of Cuba that are as good or comparable. Why isn't everybody else doing it in Nicaragua?
What is the difference? And the funny thing is, Nelson with Atabe, he doesn't even say the tobacco he uses. He says it is composed of tobacco from the Central America and the Caribbean. That's all he says. Doesn't give the regions, countries, anything like that. But it is. I mean, it's one of those things that I think you would absolutely love it. I was like, wow, this is a light cigar that is just filled with flavors.
Same with the Lojo. We were talking about that earlier. I sent one of the shows that we're going to do, custom rolls that we're going to feature here soon, is a farm roll from one of the Robena farms in Cuba, and Tuna and I were talking about it before the show. Or were you smoking one tonight? Were you smoking tonight?
Yeah, I'm smoking that Piramade.
Yeah. He's smoking right now. He's smoking one of these Robena pyramids I sent him, and I immediately said, when I smoked it, it reminded me of a Lojo, and I thought it was funny how some of the flavors, in a Lojo, are similar to this Cuban cigar. And when you consider, the Cuban stuff came from the Robena farms, and then the guys that are running the Loja are the nephew and grandson of Robenas, then really how much does it come down to where the tobacco is made, whether it's made in Cuba or whether it's made in Nicaragua, when really you have the guys who know what they're doing, who are curing it properly and blending it properly, and then it actually tastes much more like a Cuban cigar. I mean, I guarantee you I can fool people with an Alojo who aren't experienced smokers, and even experienced smokers, Cuban smokers, they smoke an Elogio and they say, God damn, that thing tastes just like a Cuban, I don't know. I know we got completely off topic in this regard, but I don't see why. I don't see why. I mean, obviously the tobaccos from different regions are going to taste different. That's obvious, but I don't see why other countries can't make cigars that finish the same way Cubans do.
Doc Will just asked if that's true. Are they trying to appeal to a palate that is not accustomed to Cubans?
And the answer to that is absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about it, everybody's putting out. Even Cubans are producing stuff to appeal to palates that are not Cubans, with all the 58 ring gauge Cohibas now with their new EO.
That's not being made for the Asia Pacific.
Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah. I mean, I know. I mean, when you think about like something like Roma Craft, for example, that is made for a guy like Logan. I've smoked a couple of Skip cigars. I thought they were all good. I thought they were all flavorful, very well balanced, good smokes that I would highly recommend to people. I actually got my shop to open up a Roma Craft account, and he does really well with them. But I don't like them. If you ask me if I'd buy them, no. Other than I did like the Intemperance Maduro in their little flying pig, I guess, their little double perfecto. Other than that, it's not really my cup of tea, but they're really good, and I think that's a perfect case of a cigar that's made that is blended for the American palate. You know what I mean? And what American smokers like.
Did you ever smoke the Intemperance Skeet Lonsdale? The Lonsdale?
No.
Okay.
It's like my Angel Halo is coming back. I'm starting to get all angelic again. I had to move out of my heavenly glow for a second, so you all can see this wonderful full beard that I'm starting to rock.
We'll come back to it, but the interesting thing is I've smoked these custom rolls because I know I smoked them pretty damn quickly. You can tell it's Cuban tobacco, but there's something unique about it. There's that individual blend to it, which is it's not Habanos, and it's very interesting, and I love it.
Yeah. So Doc asked another question. He says, "Why costs?" He asks if cost is the reason why it's blended that way, because it says they almost always say they blend to their own palate, and I don't think it's necessarily cost. It's when you're running a cigar company, you need to be profitable. At the end of the day, you need to sell cigars. And if your market is the American market, then you need to sell cigars that will sell in the American market. And if you're an American smoker, then that's how you're going to blend. I mean, I don't see any way. If Logan and I went down, we're both Americans, and if we both went down into Placentia and blended cigars, they would be complete polar opposites.
Yeah.
Period. They would.
Honestly, and I may be completely wrong here, I do not think Pepin blends for his own palate.
Well, I'll say this. I think he does to a degree, because my buddy who's hung out with him several times down there and hung out with him, on a one-to-one basis and smoked with him on a personal basis, I think he does.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd have to hit him up to get his exact words, but I know he had said, he had told him at one point in time that I don't really like too many of your cigars because they're too strong for him. He had that conversation with him.
I mean, it's like I know the Padrones blend for what they like. I mean, that's what they do. They blend what they smoke.
Oh, absolutely.
They sell.
Orlando's smoking 80th all day, dude.
Oh man, probably. I do it too. I mean, gosh, if I could smoke an 80th effective all day, I would. But for some reason, have you ever smoked a Special S for Pepin? I know we've really gone off topic here. But.
Yeah, that was the original copy of the Centurion one.
Yeah.
Great cigar.
Great cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. They only had them out at events, and they're honestly better than the new Centurion blend where they put the extra strong wrapper on it.
Oh yeah,
Completely changed it.
They should have just changed the name altogether. But
well, it looks like we're coming up on an hour.
But it was a good time though.
Yeah, no, I've got a private party tonight. I get to sing Jason Mraz, dude. Jason Mraz, Oasis, who else? Jack Johnson. So it's funny because I always do.
Well, you are my Wonderwall catfish.
Oh, dude, I love being everybody's Wonderwall. I'm all about it. But singing in that range is going to be really, really laughable tonight. Last week I had to do Kenny Rogers, dude. It was so terrible. And it was like the song of the night, It was like the song that the couple was dancing to, and I totally just bombed it. So while I was bombing it, I was talking smack to people, and it was great, dude. I totally had to play it off and ended up sneaking out of there. But it was definitely a good time, without a doubt. But I always do, whenever I do these private shows or do solo gigs, I always let people request whatever songs they want to hear. And if I can play them, I will.
There you go, man.
We'll see what happens.
Well,
thank you to everybody for tuning in.
Tune in next time for episode... Well, 11 in Spanish is spelled once, but I don't think it's pronounced once. I think it's
once.
Once. But we'll figure out what we're talking about then. But you can follow us at habanoscritic.com or forum.habanoscritic.com.
Broadcast on cigarfederation.com.
Broadcast on Cigar Federation. I'm Big Tuna. That's Catfish. And
at Humidor, at Catfish Blues on Twitter.
Catfish Blues.
Talk shit if you want to tell us that what we say is wrong. That's totally fine. We will argue with you. And if you don't like what we like, we don't care. We are the most biased show on the net right now. There is no show that is more biased than us, period. So if you want a biased opinion and you don't want to agree with it, suck it.
Suck it,
Go watch some other show.
You see this flag behind me? It says, fuck off.
Cuba.
Habanos Credit.
Habanos Credit.
Yeah.
Woo!
Later.
Later, guys.